Welcome to the last episode of the NGO Sustainable Communication module, which is about visual communication. As we covered before, there are two types of branding, visual and non-visual. And since we perceive images 60,000 times quicker than text, yes, it's a real number, the visual part plays a big role. So the question here is, how does my organization present itself without words? If words didn't exist, would people still get what I'm about? The answer to this question is the definition of visual communication. Visual communication strategically aligns images, designs, graphics, and other forms of visual content to build connections and communicate with our target groups very easily, very effectively, and very quickly. To present our visual content to our target groups, we need to match communication channels to their needs. The 50 years old Polish lady, for example, will probably use different channels from a Polish teenager. So now that you have defined your target groups and have visualized them through personas, it's time to zoom in on their preferred platforms and channels for communication. There are many offline channels, like newspapers, banners, and stuff like that, but in the spirit of digital transformation in NGO Sustainable, I will mostly focus on online channels. We can distinguish the most popular online platforms as Facebook, still, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Each of these platforms has their own audience, type of content, functionality, and activity, which is essentially how people act in this platform. Let's start with Facebook. Facebook functionality is posts, events, stories, fan pages, ads, and also community groups, which is still a big thing. The Facebook users are mostly 22 to 35 and then 50 plus, and the content form is text, emojis, graphics, and videos. And the activity that happens within Facebook is liking, sharing. Now it has expanded also to reactions in general and comments. Instagram. So Instagram has a functionality of photos, reels, and stories. It's a very visual platform. And the users are teenagers, people until 35, students, most of them, but a lot of people have embarked on Instagram in the recent years. And now we have the feeds, the stories, the reels, and the videos. So there are a lot of likes and shares and comments in all of them. Number 3 is TikTok. TikTok functionality, very entertainment, a lot of entertainment content, but also a lot of educational content. The TikTok users are teenagers, mostly Gen Zs and influencers, but a lot of other target groups have moved on to TikTok. And the content forms that exist there are TikToks, the videos, TikTok Live and stories, and people can like, comment, and share them. Number 4 is LinkedIn. LinkedIn's functionality is much more formal. It's CVs, portfolios, references, job offers, and their users are companies, recruiters, professionals, sometimes also students and people looking for jobs. And the content form are posts, interactive CVs, certificates and recommendations, and likes and shares as well. And the activity is contacts, comments, likes, network, and others. And finally, Twitter. Twitter's functionality is much more about news and informative content. And the Twitter users are everyone, but also some very important politicians, celebrities, companies, creators. And the content form that they use is tweets, which is a very short text and hashtags. The activity that happens there is tweets, likes, retweets, and threads. So, with your target groups in mind, ask what type of communication channels do they use, and what kind of content is there. 2, how they interact with them, like they share, they comment, what do they do with them. 3, what elements in these visuals that exist there pick their attention, like fast editing or specific colors, stuff like that. And what type of visual content, I would say, is their favorite? Like it might be TikToks, it might be info sheets, it might be newsletters. For example, if you're targeting seniors, you wouldn't prioritize necessarily a TikTok strategy, but you would rather investigate how they communicate with the world online or offline and make your strategy accordingly. Maybe they prefer bigger letters or very clean designs. The same thinking applies to any target group that you might have. After that, you can You can start building designs by finding the dimensions allowed for visuals in its platform. Consider if it's a desktop or a mobile phone experience, and my advice is to start simple and build on it. There are a few key points that I want to quickly highlight in making visuals that we want to show them to you through two versions of the exact same visual from Roes Coop. So let's hop on here. This is the same visual that we have published in a good and in a bad version. Take a moment to really observe what's going on here and decide which one is the good version. If you chose left, it's correct, and we will talk about why we chose the left one instead of a right version. So one reason is the font. The fonts need to be 2 to 3 fonts maximum, and they all have to be in kind of like a same or similar type of font family. Like you see, there's one here, 2, 3, 4 different types of text, and they all share a very similar family of fonts. Here, in the bad example, they are so many different types of fonts, and I really have no idea what's going on here. One other thing is logos. Logos exist here, and you can see them as the Roes logo, the logo of the organization that is hosting the opportunity we're promoting, and the logo of the European Solidarity Corps, who is funding this opportunity, but also the logo of the project itself. Here, nothing is going right. Let me remove my thumbnail for a bit. Check in this bottom part here. This logo of Roes is not the proper version. The European Solidarity Corps logo is too big, and also the partners logo has changed colors. Also, the version here it's too big and it's taken a very central place in the design, which for no apparent reason, but they have all been altered in some way, and they do not fit with the design. One other reason I would like to highlight is hierarchy. So here there is a hierarchy. It's essentially how we can lead the eye from one point to another. And we want this visual experience to have steps. Like in the example at the left, you look at it and the first thing you see is the title, Reforesting with Cat Farm. Then you see that this is a volunteering opportunity, and then you see volunteering with cat farm and all other details. Maybe your image, the image here catches the attention, but the one on the right, I don't know where to look. Like I look at I look at the logo of the project. I look at the big letters here, but I cannot really read them. The European Solidarity Corps, it's just a mess. I don't know where to look. There are too many points of focus. You can lead the eye actually through size and color at the same time. So this is why this has a different color, and this is why these are smaller, and the list goes on. Which leads me to talk about another aspect, which is proportions and scale. So here, the image is big, and it's very well balanced with the other elements in the photo. And also within these parts, these are balanced with each other. Here, I don't think that anything is balanced because this is too big, the colors here are out of place, these letters are too small and I cannot read them, and everything seems to be out of a proper scaling. And also, I would like to talk about white space. White space is not literal white space, but it's like a free space that we leave intentionally in a visual so the design can breathe. So here we have white space around the border. We have a white space between the picture here and the rest of the letters at the right. And we also have a white space between logos and also between letters. Here, there is barely any white space because, for example, the logo of the project is way too close to these letters. These are very close to each other, and these logos collide. So there's not really white space here, and it feels very claustrophobic, and the eye doesn't know where to look but feels suffocated a bit. And then my last point is balance, which I have been covering ever since we started looking at these visuals. This is balance. for all of the reasons that I mentioned. This is not balanced at all because these are out of place, these colors. This is circular, and I cannot read it, so it just fails as a visual. You might think that it's very hard to make visuals, but you can actually create very impactful and eye-catching visuals with very simple tools. You can check out the description below so you can see the tools that we suggest that you use and that we also use in our everyday work. So this is your final challenge. Start making your brand guidelines, the guidelines according to which your brand will function. That will include your logo guidelines, how to use your logo, your brand core color palette, 3, the typography, the brand voice, the imagery, and iconography. So, this is the final chapter of our communication module. What was something that you're going to take away from these videos into your own work? What was the most surprising thing you learned? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to learn more about branding and communication, make sure you also follow us on social media, which you can find attached in the description box below. We hope that you had fun and learned with us, and until the next time, see you later. Bye bye!